What's going on, guys? It's Cimo. So today I'm bringing you a first look at the brand new TCG exclusive archetype, Danger. Now, just when you thought Konami couldn't get any worse with their names after For Hire, well, they just went ahead and outdid themselves again. But even though Danger fall in line with some of the TCG exclusive archetypes of the past, like FAs, Vendreads, or even Spiral or Subterra if you're going further back, this archetype's really weird, but I think there's actually a lot of potential here, and that's what I wanted to go ahead and discuss with you guys today. But before we get into that, I want to give a huge shout out to my newest patrons, as always. So big shout out today to Cimo's Hair, Ernesto, as well as John. You guys are the reason that this channel is growing strong. And if you guys want to help support me in the channel through Patreon, then check out the Patreon link in the description below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So, the Danger archetype is kind of based off of like mythological creatures, just depending on like where you live. So like Bigfoot, for instance, or the Loch Ness Monster. The lore is kind of cool, and the artwork on these cards are pretty cool as well. But we're going to be going over these effects one by one. I think there's a total of 6 cards just to discuss in depth some of the competitive potential that this archetype may have. So, starting off with Danger Bigfoot. So we're going to scroll down here. So Danger Bigfoot is a dark beast effect monster, level 8, 3000 attack, 0 defense. You can reveal this card in your hand. Your opponent randomly chooses one card from your entire hand. Then you discard the chosen card. Then, if the discarded card was not Danger Bigfoot, special summon one Danger Bigfoot from your hand, and if you do, draw one card. So, all of the Danger monsters have this effect, at least all the ones that have been revealed thus far, where you're basically revealing it kind of like how you'd reveal a Burning Abyss monster, and then your opponent is going to randomly choose a card in your hand. I'm assuming you're going to shuffle your hand afterwards, and then basically, if they don't pick the Danger Bigfoot, you get to special summon the Bigfoot and then draw a card, or whichever monster you revealed in that instance, since they all have this effect. Now, what's crazy about this is a couple things. First of all, this is how this deck generates advantage, because all of these effects are inherently +1s, because the card is going to the field and then you're drawing a card, so it's replacing itself, and that's pretty good. I mean, just having these inherent +1 effects is not bad. But what's very, very interesting about this effect, and you'll see this by the end of this first effect, it's not once per turn. So you could, in theory, summon 3 Danger Bigfoots in the same turn, assuming your opponent can't randomly hit it out of your hand by guessing one card. That's ridiculous, because that means the swarm capabilities of this deck, not just for Danger Bigfoot, but for all of the Danger monsters, means that if your opponent can just never guess one of the cards, you can just be dropping Danger monsters one after another, and that's a little bit nuts. Now, obviously, the less cards you have in your hand, the easier it's going to be for your opponent to pick the cards. You're going to want as many cards in your hand as possible, but that's kind of what makes this good, is because when one of them gets special summoned, you get to draw an extra card, so it kind of replaces itself and keeps the guessing game going. But in some instances, you know, maybe it's just better to actually have them be discarded, because each of these Danger monsters also has an effect when it's discarded to the graveyard. So let's get into that now. So for Danger Bigfoot, if this card is discarded, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it, and you can only use this effect of Danger Bigfoot once per turn. So the secondary effects are hard once per turns, but the special summoning effects are not. Now, having Danger Bigfoot being able to pop a monster is just ridiculous upon being discarded. I mean, this is very reminiscent of like Dark World, you know, with like Grapha, but it's like Dark World kind of meshed with like reverse Spiral, if you kind of understand what I'm getting at. It's really weird, but let's go ahead and see what some of these other monsters are, because I mean, Danger Bigfoot already seems pretty good. I mean, it's a 3k body, you get to special summon it, draw a card, and if it gets discarded, well, you get to pop one of your opponent's cards. Seems pretty good. So that moves us on to Danger Nessie. So Nessie is a Dark Aqua effect, level 7, 1600 attack, 2800 defense. Has the same effect as Bigfoot for the special summoning and to get the draw. And then if Nessie is discarded, you can add one danger card from your deck to your hand, except itself, and you can only use that once per turn. So Nessie is kind of the searcher here, but here's one thing I want you to realize. So hypothetical situation, let's just say you have these two cards, Bigfoot and Nessie, in your hand, and 3 other blank cards. You reveal the Bigfoot, and your opponent discards the Nessie randomly out of your hand. You get to special summon the Bigfoot, you draw a card, and then Nessie is going to effectively replace itself because of its discard effect in a separate chain, which means you can search any other danger card from your deck to your hand. So you haven't really lost any card advantage because the card that got discarded replaced itself, Bigfoot replaced itself by drawing a card, and you got the +1 from it just special summoning itself to the board. So that's what's really cool. All of these discard effects actually are just self-replacing, so even if your opponent discards them, it's actually not that bad, and you're going to see with some of these other effects where we're going with this. So that's it for those two. Now we have Danger Jackalope. Now, this is a Dark Beast level 3, 500 attack, 2000 defense. You can reveal this card, or excuse me, same effect as Nessie as well as Bigfoot. And then if this card is discarded, you can special summon one danger monster from your deck in defense position, except Danger Jackalope. And again, that's only once per turn. So again, even if Jackalope is the one that gets discarded, you get to special summon any danger monster from your deck for free, so it replaces itself. And what's cool about this is that means it opens up some rank 8 plays with Bigfoot, some rank 7 plays with the Nessie, and I think that's what's a really neat kind of synergy about this deck. Moving on to Chupacabra though. Chupacabra, again, same effect as all the others, but if it's discarded, you can target one danger monster in your graveyard, except itself, and special summon it, and that is also once per turn. So this is cool because Chupacabra is kind of like your follow-up, that let's say you get Nessie in the grave in my previous example, well, now if Chupacabra gets discarded, you can target the Nessie that was discarded from the first effect's activation, special summon it, and again, you're not really losing card advantage here. That's what's so cool about how this works. Again, there is that element of luck in terms of what your opponent's going to discard, but I think what's nice is if you're maxing out on all these cards, you're maximizing the potential for your opponent to discard a card that you're going to want them to discard, very similar to something like Dark World, and that way you're going to ensure that these effects do go off. So that's it for the monsters. Let's go ahead and check out the field spell, Realm of Danger. So your opponent cannot target danger monsters you control with card effects during the turn they are special summoned. Once per turn, you can target one danger monster you control. While you control that face-up monster and this face-up card, that monster can attack directly. Also, your opponent's monsters cannot target it for attacks, but it does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. So a bit of an interesting one. So basically, it gives your field some protection if you're just going to spam all of your danger monsters, meaning they can't be targeted by card effects, which is pretty good. I mean, we've had instances in the meta where just immunity from targeting is very invaluable, but then there's some metas where it doesn't really matter at all. The big downside is, though, I think Realm of Danger is probably the worst card out of the 6 here because it doesn't really generate any advantage on activation. It offers the protection, which is nice, but yeah, you get to attack directly with a monster, but that doesn't exactly really do anything. I mean, your opponent can attack you directly, so I guess it protects the monster, but I don't really see this as being a very strong card. The only reason you would really want to play this is for the targeting protection, but it really has yet to be seen if that's worth running this card in tandem with stuff like terraforming, because again, it's not really advancing your game state, it's kind of just offering your cards protection, which again is very meta dependent and just pretty much just depends on how the format's going to end up whenever this card, or these cards rather, are going to be released. Now, last but not least, we have a trap card, Danger Zone. Insert Danger Zone jokes here. Now, Danger Zone is a very interesting trap card. So it reads, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards, including at least 1 danger card. Yeah, that's basically Graceful Charity in a trap card, so okay. Or if you have no danger cards, show your entire hand and shuffle it into the deck. You can only activate one danger zone per turn. So it's Graceful Charity except with a Sylvan Charity-like restriction where you need to at least discard one danger zone card. Now, presumably you're going to be running a ton of danger cards, so that's not really exactly the worst case, but a lot of people are saying, oh, this card's not that good because it's a trap card, and yes, while I will agree with that, there's one thing that you're overlooking. All of your danger cards get value or effects when they're discarded to the graveyard. Now, the thing is here, let's say you go first, you set Danger Zone and pass to your opponent. Let's say your opponent starts going off with their turn, summoning monsters, and there's a monster that you don't want its ignition effect to activate. You can flip up Danger Zone, draw 3 cards, discard Bigfoot and any other card. Now, Bigfoot will trigger since it was discarded, and you can pop the monster on their field before the effect summons. So basically, this is Graceful Charity, but also with the ability to not only disrupt your opponent, but you can also search for any danger card in your deck with Nessie. You can just basically special summon monsters out of your deck through Jackalope, or special from the graveyard with Chupacabra to kind of put a body on the board. I think the disruption potential here is really, really good, not to mention that this is just the first wave of support for this archetype. We're going to be getting support for this in the next 3 sets in Soul Fusion and the other 2 sets to follow. Cybernetic Horizon is just the beginning here, and I think there's a lot of hidden potential. Now, obviously, this archetype does have its downsides because is it a bit luck reliant? Yeah, I think so, but at the same time, I think there's ways that people always find to manipulate the luck and have it work more so in their favor, and I think the fact that the danger monsters themselves don't exactly have that once per turn clause on their summon, meaning that you can just swarm the field with as many of these guys as you possibly can. I think once we start getting more and more support for this archetype, hopefully more monsters, but I mean, you have to look, every card that was revealed here is either a secret rare or an ultra rare, and that's a really good sign because that means that, you know, maybe they're going to continue to just keep printing high value cards in terms of how good they are, better comparably to something like maybe a common or the rare slot, but again, time will tell in terms of how well this archetype actually is. I think there's a lot of good potential for a foundation, more so than other archetypes we've seen in the past, but we'll just have to wait and see. So guys, those are just my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the Danger archetype. I'd really love to hear your thoughts and maybe talk about some potential synergies that you might see with this archetype. I mean, it's all dark, so you could easily run Allure of Darkness in here just for amazing turbo ability. I think there's a lot of cool things we can do with it, but I really want to hear what you guys have to say. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to like the video as always, subscribe to the channel for more amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content, and if you found this video informative, consider backing me on Patreon, because just by pledging only $1 a month, you're investing in my ability to continue bringing you amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content. So thanks so much again, and we'll see you next time.